This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by your local York and Mitsubishi dealers.
Here on Delmarva in the springtime, it can be in the 50s one day, it can be in the 80s the next. You really can't predict when you're going to have to turn on the AC for the first time, and that is why you need to make sure that when that time does come, your air conditioning is ready. Lisa caught up with the folks from AUSTINCOX Home Services to find out what you can do throughout the year to ensure comfort this summer.
Well, the warm weather is here. It is spring and almost summer, so it's about time for us to turn on our air conditioners. And you want to make sure when you flip that switch, it actually works. That's why we're talking about regular checkups on our air conditioners. And joining me is Brian Lloyd with AUSTINCOX Home Services. It really is like a car. You have to make sure that you get it checked out every so often.
Yeah, absolutely, Lisa. And it's very similar to those things on some of the items that we need to do so that we can get long life out of our equipment. And more importantly, when we turn the switch on, like you said, know that it's going to come on. There's a lot of things that you can do. I always like to start with what homeowners can do. Some simple things are just making sure that the unit is clear. There's no debris around the unit, no grass growing up or trees or limbs that are hanging over the unit. Those simple things just alone will help out on the performance of the equipment.
And then there's things that we need to have a professional do regularly. What are those?
Yeah, absolutely. All manufacturers recommend that a service professional do the routine maintenance on the equipment. Manufacturers are going to recommend on your outdoor unit that you make sure your coil has been cleaned, make sure it's clear and free, that air can flow through it. We're going to make sure that we check your motor amps, your fan blades, check your refrigerant levels. You know, if you do those preventive measures, you're going to see that your comfort levels, your energy levels, all those things are going to be where they're supposed to be.
All right, we covered the outside unit. Let's go inside. There's a unit inside that needs to be checked as well.
That's right, your blower side of the unit. That's what's going to distribute the air to the vents that most people have in their ceiling or their floor. You know, back to the homeowner. What can the homeowner do on that? You know, changing your filters every 30 days. That's a critical thing. People don't realize about how many service calls we get a year just because of dirty filters. If I restrict the amount of air that flows over the coil, then I'm not going to get the performance, which means I'm not going to get air conditioning at times. So those are real simple things that a homeowner can do. On the indoor unit, that's really all they can do is just change the filters. As far as the maintenance checks, when you do that per the manufacturer's recommendations, same thing. We're going to look at the coil, make sure it's clean and free for air to be able to flow through. We're going to check the blower motor, make sure it's clean as well, so that way we're distributing air like we're supposed to. And we find when you do those preventive measures, it's going to take care of a lot of headaches for most customers. You know, we don't know exactly when things are going to fail, but the more that you have a service professional on your system looking at it twice a year, the more opportunities you have to have less problems.
Right, because it seems that the air conditioner always breaks down on the hottest day of the year.
It does, you know, and there's science to that. You know, that's when it's running the most. That's when it's at its peak levels. It's going to have long duration time, so even more important why you want to get preventive maintenance done so that when it's running on those levels, it's going to work like it's supposed to.
And there's other benefits as well, and you had mentioned that you save energy by having it cleaned?
Absolutely. When you do regular maintenance, it's just like your car, like you said. If you do tune-ups on your car, you're going to get better fuel efficiency. It's the same thing, same model with your unit. If you do regular maintenance, you're going to see anywhere from 10 to 30% savings just from doing maintenance, you know, because when systems aren't operating properly, they're just going to eat up more electricity than what they need to.
And then, of course, there's warranties. You want to make sure that you do everything that's within the warranty?
Yeah, absolutely. Heating and air equipment is just like any other product. If you don't maintain it, you do run into a probability of avoiding the warranty possibly.
All right, good information. It seems like it's going to be a hot summer this year, if the spring is any indication. So we want to make sure that when we do flip that switch, we're going to get that cool air and fast.
And by the way, AUSTINCOX Home Services actually does an 18-point air conditioning check. If you'd like to find out more about AUSTINCOX Home Services, including details on their annual maintenance agreement, go to our website, delmarvalife.com, and click on the Show tab.